And we have our panelists for debate number 2 lined up. Arun Lal and Atul Vasan, Morad Ali Beg and Rahul Mehra tonight debating the whole question on a night when, in simple terms, the BCCI has snubbed the government. The government is divided on whether or not it can control cricket, should control cricket. Ajay Maken on one side and all the powerful politicians on the other. And what happened today is that 6 hours after the sports minister received an angrily worded letter from the BCCI, Times Now got an exclusive copy of that letter written by the world's most powerful cricket body in response to Ajay Maken. The letter rejecting totally the revised sports bill as 100% unconstitutional. This question tonight, Arun Lal, do you think the government will back off? Arun Lal?
I don't know, Arnav, whether they back off or not, but you know, the fact is that the BCCI is probably the best governed, association or a federation that's governing sport. They're doing a fantastic job. Having said all that, I think it's not such a bad idea to have the RTI applicable, because if that is the case, I'm only talking about the RTI. I'm not talking about anything else. And I'm sure that, there can't be RTIs on selection and things like that. Basically, just the functioning and the monetary aspects of the association. And since everything is already on the internet, since everything is so transparent, I don't see that there should be much objection, especially when the people, have a right to know.
Okay, people have a right to know. Atul Vasan, people have a right to know. But beyond that, the BCCI must be taken out of its comfort zone.
Well, you're right, Arnav. One thing is clear that BCCI probably the best run sports body, if not in India, in Asia. But they've got their problems. There are some ills there. We all know that. And just getting the RTI, in there will not going to solve everything. And RTI, the way it's worded, I don't even feel that 100% should be implemented. There are parts of RTI which should be implemented. It remains to be seen what happens, But, why does the sports ministry, the government wants to have a piece of the action? Because of the power, glory, fame, money. This is what the clout is all about. Why do you think most of the politicos in India want to be or heading their associations in their states already? Because it brings them high mileage. It brings the clout. And that's why, hence, the sports ministry also wants to clamp on it. And I think that'll be a step it'll be bad for the game. And I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it happens in a month without Sundays.
No, but is the BCCI resisting the move only because the shady dealings of the IPL, if there are any other shady dealings, do not need to be revealed? Is that the question we have? That's one. Secondly,
not really.
No, you don't think so, Atul? Yes, Atul.
No, I don't think so, because, IPL has become so big because there was a carte blanche. There was some kind of free-handed play by certain people, and that's why it became so big. If it would have been regimented, probably we wouldn't have seen the whole IPL in its whole glory, But now it's there. I think I totally agree with everybody saying that it should be monitored, it should be regulated, and it's a very prestigious, very powerful, very precious property from India coming out of for sports. It's a pride for everybody. So I think the need for the hour is to monitor it properly.
Then who wants the government? Rahul Mehra, I come to you. Who wants the government? In June this year, Ajay Maken had said the BCCI is following the basic principles of good governance and went on to say that all the national sports federations should follow how BCCI is governed, because BCCI is many steps ahead. No, I didn't. Ajay Maken said that, not Srinivasan.
Arnav, I'm glad that you have a very distinguished panel, and Arun Lal is the person who actually wanted a players association, but just look at the way BCCI scuttled it. I'm going to be very calm tonight, Arnav. I'm trying to channelize my anger in different direction, and you'll come to know in a few days how that anger is being channelized. So I'm going to be extremely calm tonight, and I'm going to place before you 4 or 5 issues. And I want to know from BCCI as to how that is intrusive. And before I start that, I want to actually say that please don't call on your channel that this is a cricket control war. You are demeaning every other national sport person and sport icon by reducing the National Sports Development Bill into a cricket sports development bill. By no means the country of India has only one sport, which is cricket. There are 65 other disciplines.
That's all. That's all. But I take your point. But tonight we are discussing cricket.
Clause by clause into the bill. into the bill, and I want to ask all my fellow friends, and I am a nationalist, I'm a patriot of like any other citizen of this country. I will be doing a disservice to the game of cricket if Ajay Maken or Sports Ministry comes over and takes control over it. Give that much of respect to me over the last 11 years as to what I have done in sports. Don't try and just dilute that effort of mine by saying that I'm supporting a bill in which Ajay Maken is going to be planted on top of BCCI. That's going to be ruining cricket forever in India. I'll give you 3 points quickly. Number one, it for the first time will allow players representation. People like Arun Lal, Atul Vasan, who have no scope, no hope, when Sarkar, no hope of getting into BCCI's administration, will get that right, real right for the first time, because it talks of 25% player representation. There's going to be an appellate sports tribunal for the very first time. And the sports tribunal is going to be selected, members are going to be selected by the Chief Justice of India, not by BCCI, not by the government Ajay Maken. Thirdly, there is going to be an athlete advisory council for the first time. Athletes are going to select and elect their own members who are going to represent them 25% in the executive body with voting rights. If this is intrusive, yes, National Sports Development Bill is intrusive. If breaking the cartels of people who are there for 50 years, 40 years, 30 years is intrusive, yes, National Sports Development Bill is intrusive. If getting RTI applications being filed only to the extent of financial dealings and administrative handlings of any sporting federation is intrusive and draconian, yes, National Sports Development Bill is intrusive and draconian. But you can't, in the revised bill,
I only want us to get totally real.
You can't even ask for players selection.
I want us to get totally real.
On selection, on performance, on injury, on whereabouts.
I want us, okay, we're getting rebats. Rahul, 1 second. You know, I want to be totally real. I'm not going to, yes, this is a cricket control war. You may say whatever, but let me tell you very clearly this.
It's not.
No, 1 minute, 1 minute. This is not the Kabaddi Association of India. It's the BCCI. It's about the most
just because
1 minute,
say
1 minute.
Doesn't become.
No sports federation.
Be a nationalist as you have always been.
No, yes, I am. No
BCCI,
sports.
Please.
But Rahul, 1 second. No sports federation in the country comes even close to gathering the kind of money, revenue that the BCCI generates, and that is not going to change in our lifetimes. So of course this is about that. It's about power, it's about reach, it's about political influence. I don't want to fool myself that it's not. Okay, Murad Ali,
finishing all of that. It's not about making it more draconian.
Murad, I've come to Murad, hasn't spoken yet. Murad, the question is this, that the ICC Executive Council Annual Conference 2011 said national federations have to be autonomous. I know that's the same ridiculous argument which Mr. Kalmadi put when the government tried to control him. But it was an argument. Wasn't it, Murad?
Yeah, but where is the question of the federations not being autonomous? Here is a bill which is not making anything in terms of functioning of the association, in terms of marketing the sports, in terms of organizing sports, in terms of doing welfare for the sports persons. There is nothing which changes. Everything remains the same. Arnab, this looks like more that there is a complete resistance to change. Nobody wants a change. They want the way they are functioning. They don't want to change anything. If they are saying they are transparent body, everything is very, very transparent, what difference the bill will make? There will be no difference. It will be just that all the other federations, everything will be transparent. And if you are part of India, then you have to follow the laws of the country. You are part of India, you are representing the country, you are wearing the national flag, the national anthem is being played at all your functions.
No, yeah.
Then how can you not
be part
of
the country? Let me read out one
country?
part. Let me read out one part of this letter, which I want to place on record. The BCCI very clearly says that we are not representing India because the government of India is allowing us to do so. We don't need the government of India's permission to represent India. They have made it.
How can that be possible? I mean, none of us can just go and represent in any sports that we are representing.
No, this is a tricky part, you see, Murad. That's a tricky part. No, 1 second. This is the part which I'm going to read out. It says the right of the BCCI to represent India internationally does not emanate from a governmental recognition. It springs out of the recognition granted to us by the international cricket councils. Once there are two bodies which require grant of recognition, repugnancy will set in since they can come to conflicting views. This has already happened in the case of Hockey India and the Indian Hockey Federation. They're not wrong. They're not wrong, Atul, are they? They're not wrong.
No, they're totally right. I agree with certain points what Rahul made, but we have to see that the wholesale change, these people have spent their sweat, blood and tears collecting proxies overnight, 24 hours they've not slept, and you want suddenly the power to go from them. It's not going to happen. Think of Lee Kuan Yew, he created a muddy quarry, a bunch of swamps into a country called Singapore because he had the control. He could do whatever he wants. Now everybody is praising him. But suddenly the BCCI similarly took it and they were entrepreneurial. The other associations were clamped by funding from the government and all. And look where they are. So if they have done something, you change it in parts. You can't just come in one day and break the door down and we're going to have this, we're going to have this. I agree with representation of the players, administration, right. But it has to open slowly. You can't just have it overnight.
One second, Rahul. Morad and then Morad wants to come in and then Arun Lal. Yes, Morad.
Arnab, there are a couple of points that I would like to make. A, that all the active players in sports today are not speaking up for the bill because of the simple reason they are fearing that they will be targeted. So none of the players are coming forward. But if you speak to any of the players in confidence, all of them want this change. And they want this change for the good of the sports. It's not going to change in terms of, the controls and everything like that. That controls, if somebody thinks that he can control and live with it till the time he can function or he can just walk, then there's a different story. But marketing in BCCI has taken place because of the change that has come in over the years. If you see the time when the older players, people at the time when Kapil and all were playing, by the time what they faced during their career and what today people are facing, the marketing has changed throughout. That change has come because of the change in the leadership.
Arun Lal, 1 minute. I'm going to come with the last one. Arun Lal, this argument that you don't need government recognition.
Yeah. Now that's flawed, Arnab. There's no question about that in my mind because, you're not a totally independent body that is going to be representing India. You need the government for a lot of things. Most of the stadiums were leased out to the BCCI. Now they're making a few of their own. That's a different thing. All the grounds that you play league cricket on in different areas, in different all the clubs, most of the land is the governmental land. You need government security to run your games. You need government, lots of, I can't think off the cuff. So it's not the easiest thing. And in 1989, the Chief Justice had once asked that what has given you the power to, or what has given you the power to select the Indian team? And basically, there are a lot of areas which are a little grey. You don't want to disturb the apple cart because it's functioning fabulously. I might add that the BCCI is doing a great job. But if you try and say that we are totally independent of the government of India, that's not going to hold much water. I'm afraid
but not,
that's a little bit of a flawed argument. And let's not go there at all. And let's just stick to this.
I just want to digress.
Atul Vasan, yes.
I just want to remind Arun, Rahul mentioned that just take a case of the Players Association. BCCI is the only body which has not allowed players to get together, and the current players are always under pressure from BCCI not to let it happen. I remember I met Mr. Patodi so many times, and he was the chief, and Arun was involved in that. And look what happened to it. It scuttled it. So I'm saying we need a change, but it has to be in partial steps. It can't be wholesale change because it'll topple the apple cart, as Arun put it.
Absolutely
and I think
right, Atul.
Arun is wrong there, where Arun is wrong that Indian board does not need the permission of the government. They just need, they can pay for the security, they can pay for the grounds, they can look after everything. It's just the token power symbolism of the government which the board goes to them.
No, Atul, I beg to disagree. There. That's not the correct...
they're paying for the security, they're paying for everything. Where is the government has taken away the tax relief? What is left?
No, they're not.
Tell me, how are they going to control it?
No, they're not. They're not paying for the security. All the grounds that you play club cricket on are not owned by the board. The clubs that are running them, they're not owned by the board. They're owned by the government. You're not independent of the government of India, for God's sake. You're representing the country.
Who is asking the government permission to build slums on those lands?
No, but there are...
people are playing cricket on those grounds.
There is indirect funding. Rahul Mehra makes the point that you are receiving a lot of indirect funding. Exactly. Subsidies, stadiums, Rahul.
Absolutely.
Arnab, you made 2 points and you read the letter. Now BCCI plays a master stroke. It's mastered the act of telling lies. It's mastered the act of misinformation campaign through media, because most of the media houses, they can influence. So now let me take 2 points which you read and demolish their argument completely because of the judgment which I have in my possession, which is the law of the land, and I hope BCCI respects High Court and Supreme Court of India. Number 1 point you took was that it is not Team India and their recognition part of it. So let me say, in Rahul Mehra and another versus Union of India, BCCI and DDCA. It's a October 3rd, 2004 judgment. If BCCI doesn't have it, they can come to me. I'll give them free copies. I won't charge them for it. Usually lawyers charge for even supplying copies. I won't charge them. The order says, India, you should be proud that you are representing India. You are performing de facto state functions which are public functions. And your inexplicable argument that the Team India is not India but BCCI is flawed, and you should in fact take pride that just because a private body, as a private body, you have been able to represent India. You should take pride in that, because the argument was Sachin Tendulkar plays for BCCI, not for India. Number 1. Number 2, recognition part. The revised National Sports Development Bill takes care of that. Under the National Sports Guideline today, every National Sports Federation goes back to the Sports Ministry to take recognition annually, every year, and government has full control over it. Ajay Markan,
Rahul,
for the
you know,
first
you don't
time,
understand
hats
the
off
point.
to him.
Atul Vasan is coming in, yes. Atul Vasan.
And started
You know, I'll tell
registration.
you,
He
you
has
know,
said,
nobody
"You
makes
don't need
the
to come back
BCCI
to
take
us.
the name of
We
Indian
will
team.
register you.
It is the people who
Registration
actually
will be
make it
looked
the
by
Indian team.
Independent
And
Appellate
you know,
Sports Tribunal, not even by the government of India.
I just want to say, if the sports ministry gets cricket and they make an alternate team, who are they going to play in the world? Please tell me. Papua New Guinea? That is the problem.
Where is the question
so
of an alternate
BCCI
team?
is by default
BCCI
representing Indian cricket.
recognized forever. Where is the question of an alternate team?
No, listen to it. I mean, you know, let's...
Exactly. So if BCCI plays under BCCI and Indian Sports Ministry makes an Indian cricket team, who are they going to play? Please answer this.
Okay, Morad wants to come. Morad is coming.
But you're assuming wrong things.
Morad.
Why do you assume that government is going to come and start a new team?
Morad.
There is a clause in the National Sports Guideline and the Act that there can be
Arnab,
only one national team, only one
Morad,
national sporting federation.
Listen to Morad. Listen to Morad. Yes, Morad.
Arnab, where is the question? Where is the question of alternate team? The Sports Ministry is not saying we will create an alternate body. All they are saying, they want transparency, which already exists in BCCI. So there is no question of imposing any additional laws. And as far as the views have been expressed, BCCI doesn't need any support from government. If they did not need any support from government, then why was IPL shifted to South Africa when government refused the support? They should have had it here. I mean, there was no reason. If they don't need the country, anybody's help, then they should have had the IPL here instead of South Africa.
That point is well taken. Ajay Markan is going to have a tough time fighting off his own colleagues, a very aggressive BCCI, and this letter of Sanjay Jagdale. The BCCI snubbed the government. Gentlemen, thank you very much. And Rahul Mehra, Arun Lal, Atul Vasan, and of course my friend Morad, thank you very much indeed.